Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our little presentation about the survey entry program that we created for our sponsors. We were sponsored by the UNL Bureau of Sociological Research, or BOSER. They conduct national, regional, and local surveys using a variety of survey research methods. They offer a bunch of services for people who are conducting research, such as research design, consultation, both in assisting with the design of surveys and questionnaires, samplings, and budget estimations. They conduct data collection through paper surveys and interviews and focus groups, data evaluations, and they help with IRB, the Institutional Review Board protocol forms for researchers. And they do a lot of conduct a lot of research and do a lot of data collection with data entry and verification. And that is sort of where we came in with our project. They needed a new application to replace a dinosaur, as it were. Our immediate stakeholders are Kristen Olsen, the director of BOSER, Lindsay Witt Swanson, the associate director, and Amanda Gancher, the senior project manager, who is also listed as the product owner for our application and has been our direct contact with BOSER through this entire process.
So the team includes, as previously introduced, Amanda, who is the product owner, Bill, who was the project manager, who helped in coordinating our development, Bhuvana, who was the triad lead. She helped in providing technical advice for our development. And our other team, which was of course the development team, includes Emma, who was the development manager, as well as the squad lead. She was basically the face of communication between BOSER and the development team. She also was the one who approved development decisions in the team. Tristan, who was the product manager and helped design the overall architecture and the face of the application. Thomas, myself, and Sam, who were the developers, and as the name implies, we helped develop the application.
Don't know if it's on my end. I'm still seeing the stakeholder slide.
Is everyone seeing the problem and opportunity slide yet?
No.
I see.
No, I just see a black screen, Shiv.
I'm sorry. I'm going to stop sharing and try resharing.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Technology people.
Technology under pressure, that too, right?
Can you see the problem and opportunity slide now?
Nope. Still seeing the black screen.
That's strange.
Thomas, do you perhaps have those slides with you, or?
Yeah, I do.
So strange.
Maybe somebody else can share it and Shiv can walk through it.
That was here. Is that showing up? No?
No.
Sorry, Thomas. I think I got in the way. You can try again.
How about that?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. You're good to go.
Excellent. So where were we? So our sponsors, BOSER, needed a new application, as mentioned, to replace the dinosaur that was EPI version 6, which is a rather outdated MS-DOS application running on DOSBox. The old application used some rather archaic input methods, needed an external text editor to create surveys to enter using a sort of almost programming language, and didn't offer the best in terms of exporting into anything useful. It could create an SPS syntax file, which to my understanding includes the data, but none of the metadata, so none of the labels. And just in general, it's a pretty poor UI experience for anyone living in the 21st century. What that gave us the opportunity to do is create a much nicer looking, first off, application with a much more pleasant UI and UX experience. Sorry, we replaced the old text editing version of creating surveys with an actual embedded survey designer that would allow them to use a what you see is what you get interface to create and model the surveys as they wanted. We also managed to build in a data export that instead of just the limited syntaxes would actually export fully functional SPSS statistics data sets, complete with all the value labels and so on. We created a user system so that users can log in or be created and then log in, and it is up to the managers to give these users permissions. Are they allowed to only enter surveys? Can they also verify? Can they also create new surveys? And can they create new users? All of those levels are completely adjustable. And as mentioned, there is a survey designer using a graphical interface. There are several different types of questions they can add, text, obviously, numeric, single choice, where you have a group of choices and can pick only one, multi-choice, same deal, except you can pick all that apply, grid, which is basically an array of single choice questions, all with the same options, and some headers and spacers to sort of break things up to give a more pleasant entry experience. The data entry and verification is a two-step process. One person will enter all the data from a paper survey into the program, and another person will then have to verify it by basically entering it all again. Our application will then check each entry to see if it matches the previous, and if it doesn't, it will pop up and say so. And then it is up to the verification person to either select the first version, the second version, or go out and completely redo it, redo that question in case both versions are wrong. As mentioned, we can export into SPSS datasets and also CSV in case it's necessary, if you want to import the data into Excel, for example. And there is some limited metrics export as well in the form of a project log, which shows you all the IDs of the surveys that have been entered, who entered it and when, and also who verified it and when, if it has been verified.
For the solution built, we basically created an application which could be used in multiple OS operating systems, ranging from Microsoft to Apple to other distributions. This was done via the Electron framework because we had developed our application using the Electron React boilerplate, which provided the cross-platform utility. In the backend, we utilized a plethora of Amazon Web Services, or AWS, which included DynamoDB, a non-relational database, which provided a lot of flexibility in handling data. Lambda and Cloud Gateway, which were two ways in which the software our solution connected to the AWS cloud and helped to create a secure data transfer between the two software. And finally, Cognito, which was an authentication software, which helped to create a secure user management system for the application. Front end relied on multiple web server frameworks such as React.js, which included multiple hooks to help make the program functional, as well as Bootstrap to help create the layout of the application. The front end logic and the back end were connected via TypeScript. TypeScript also included ESLint, which helped to create unit tests for functions that had sort of a lot of edge cases to test out. Some of the values and highlights of the solution include creating a UI that was consistent and user-friendly. The original software EPI was something that was very, it was unintuitive, not to give anything bad to say, but it was kind of unintuitive. And this application creates something that is much more easier to use as well as consistent and easier to look at. The workflow is also very understandable and it helps that the permissions prevent any sort of confusion in responsibilities. The keyboard navigations help in providing an efficient way to enter data, especially when you have 1,000 or 2,000 records of data to enter and verify. And finally, there was a way we created for exporting data into an SAV file, which could be then utilized in an SPSS software. In terms of the Survey Designer saved the state of the design, which enabled a lot of sort of flexibility in terms of how this design is created. Let's say you want to make some changes to that design, save it so it doesn't have to be restart from the beginning. This flexibility helped the designer to be easy to use as well as flexible with sort of restraints. The connection with AWS enabled the data to be used in a very efficient manner without having to wait for it to load or wait for it to be retrieved as well as stored. And finally, authentication required and the HTTPS utilized enabled, which goes back to the cloud software as well as the AWS. This provided a secure way of transferring data, which would help to prevent any security threats to the data.
And with that, all we have to do is say, well, first, thank you for sitting through our presentation. Very big thank you to our sponsors, UNL Boser and the stakeholders, Amanda, Lindsay, and Kristen, for giving us this opportunity to work on a really, really interesting project. You've been really great to work with. I feel like our communications have always been really nice, and I know that's the general opinion on our team. And we hope you'll really love the final product.
Great job, guys. And a reminder too that you can see them at their virtual table. They'll be there till 4:45 if you want to see anything else or have any questions. But thanks for attending.